Good afternoon, good morning, good night, regardless of, depending on where you are watching from. My name is Joshua, and welcome to the URNI show. Again, Urni Urban Nigeria initiative, we are key on nation building, and we want to see how we can project the positive image of Nigeria through technology and the community engagement as well to inspire patriotism in Nigerians. We've seen several episodes of our show where we spoke about traffic rules, spoken about patriotism, and today I have a very wonderful guest. He's a member of Urni Urban Nigeria Initiative Board of Trustees, and he has been a major inspiration not just to me but again to many persons, many Nigerians. He's unique, he's smart, he's intelligent, and he's someone who you could tell that has experience with managing projects, inspiring people, ensuring that people go from where they are to where they are supposed to be. Ladies and gentlemen, don't worry, we have a lot packed for today's episode of our podcast. He's here with us right here. His name is Mr. Unity Vonwe. Can we meet you, sir?
Thank you. Appreciate you. Thank you to everyone watching. I'm very glad, very excited, very grateful for this privilege to be on the show. The Unveiling and Running Nigeria Initiative is one big project close to heart, or program with several projects in it. I'm very glad to see the progress so far in terms of how much impact has been made and is still being made. I got to be a part of this couple years back, and it's exciting to see that a lot has happened over the years. In my time away, I've seen a lot of progress. I've also participated virtually to ensure that the initiative keeps going, impact is made. We have a book now from the Nigerian platform, impacting people that we can not even tell. You don't know how the extent to which ideas spread. So I'm very glad to see the impact that we're making in a little way. And I'm glad to be on the show today. As you mentioned, my name is Unity. I am a father, a husband, a father of 3 boys, and I also co-own a company away in Canada. I lead a team of 20-something people from different nationalities. Indians, Canadians. We have even more Canadians and Indians than we have Africans in the team, and it's exciting. And many of these things, many of these leadership skills and tools assets that I gathered working on the platform and my previous work here in the company. So I'm very glad to see how much and how far this program has gone and what's in it for the future for us.
Thank you so much, sir. So today we have a very interesting topic, and our topic for today is personal development as a strategy to national development. But before we get deep into our topic, we want to know, how did you transition from your humble beginning to leading a team of 26 men in Canada? How did you transition? What was the journey so far?
Okay, I think that the work of leadership is a continuous journey of self-development. No one just comes out of the blues and becomes a leader. There's some people of the school of thought that leaders are born. Some people argue that leaders are made. I like to think that leaders are made rather than born. And they are made by taking responsibility, by taking initiatives. Taking initiatives in your little corner, wherever you may be. And talking about my journey, I joined this company who has been spearheading Unveiling Nigeria for the last over a decade. I joined the company in the year 2013.
Wow.
For my youth service called Trying Build Tech Solutions. And when I joined the company, I had a choice between sitting idle and docile, and just merely showing up, and the choice to contribute,
Okay.
to add, to do more than I'm paid for, to show up again and again, So it's always a choice. Someone said, if you learn excellence, no one can take it from you. If you learn thoroughness, dutifulness, if you learn to be responsible, if you learn to be someone who adds value, you cannot learn those things.
Yeah.
You cannot learn them. It goes with you everywhere you go. So it comes to the question that I often ask myself: if not me, who? If not here, where? If not now, when? That's the questions leaders ask. Leaders query themselves. Leaders push themselves to do better every day.
Okay.
So that's been my journey from working as a copper. I had a choice at the time. I had some options to probably go work. I'm not saying it's bad to work in civil service sector. It's not bad. It's a choice. I had a choice to sort of elect to pursue that, but I decided to work with this company, considering the vision I saw and the visionary, considering the values I saw in the visionary, considering the future that was painted to me. That's why I said I really pushed to say I'd like to be part of the work here.
It's interesting because most persons, like you said, would want to go for where they get paid higher, but as in 2013 a lot of this was happening. Why did you choose? You said something that because of the vision set before you, and then the vision that the company has set before itself. So what were the clarity that you were sure of in 2013 that made you choose where you could learn than where you could earn? Right. So what made you choose that decision of learning instead of earning at that time?
Good question. I think again it's the idea of the sense of value of people.
Okay.
What's your sense of value? Do you consider delayed gratification to be a thing? Do you consider it to be a good thing, or do you want to eat your future today, basically? Do you get? So that values reorientation, it's an important thing for people as they grow. I want to learn today and end tomorrow. Do you get? I want to do all I can do today to make a better future for myself. It's the idea of making sacrifices. Individuals should make sacrifices. Families should make sacrifices. Nations should make sacrifices.
Wow.
There was a time in China when they had to enact a one-child rule because they knew that with that population they had, they needed to make sacrifices for the common good of the people. So it's not about your preference to I want to have multiple children. No. We're talking about the greater good of the people.
Exactly.
There's not so much resources that can feed everyone if everyone gives birth to 4, 5, or 20 children. No. And they had that rule for a couple years, even into a decade before they changed it recently to I think they changed it to two children now. So again, the question is, are you willing to delay gratification? Are you willing to take the long route? People want it now. People want shortcuts. People want to make compromises, in a bid to get what they desire. It's the idea of fast food.
Yeah.
You and I know that sometimes junk food is not healthy food. It takes a while to cook and eat healthy.
It takes time.
Than trying to eat junk. But over time the junk food tells on you. So I think it's the idea that I want to learn because the youthful age is fleeting. You're never young forever. You are young today, but you're not young tomorrow. So what is it I can learn at this stage of my life, just so that when I'm 30, 40, I can have the tools in my toolbox to engage the future.
Wow. So it means that as at 2013, you already have clarity on what Unity wants to be at 30, at 35, at 40, and you said something that you chose to learn now and earn later, instead of reverse being the case, earning now and then learning later. So going straight to our topic, personal development, a strategy for national development. Now from 2013 till today, that's 12 years, you've been able to And I think that major decision in 2013, which was a major switch in your destiny, was based on the fact that you wanted to develop yourself. And then you spoke about value. Now, that personal development has led to you being a blessing to people, to communities, to companies, and shaping lives. Now, looking at Nigeria, right, with a lot of deficiency we have in leadership, despite having leaders, right? So it's like an irony that you have persons occupying leadership position, but you have deficiency in leadership because you are not seeing the quality of turnouts or should I say ROI now in terms of having leaders. Now, how can we, using you as a case study, you going for personal development? So how do you think we can actually place side by side personal development and then national development? Do you think there's a flow?
Correct, absolutely. I think that leadership is not an office. Leadership is responsibility. Leadership is not a title, it's responsibility. It's about taking responsibility. And unfortunately, you have many people in leadership positions who are not leaders. Do you get? I mean, you can be a politician and not be a leader. Do you get? You know, and that's the sad fate that we have to be as a people. There's a clear deficit of leadership capital in our country today, in the black world, and you know, some parts of the world. And I think there is a lot that has to do with us as individuals. You know, who are the people that we call politicians? Politicians are not aliens. They are not people who have come from outer space. No. Politicians are your brother, it's your sister, you know, your friend of friends. Do you get? Your friend of friends. Do you get? You know, politician, if you put a bunch of balls or a crate of egg here, let's say a bunch of balls, and you shovel the bucket and you pick a ball in 4 years. And let's say egg. If assuming you can shake eggs together, you randomly pick an egg, you break it, and the egg is bad. In 4 years' time, you go into that crate again, you shake it, pick another egg, break it, and it's also bad. In 4 years' time again, you randomly shake it, bring another egg, break it, and it's bad. Something is wrong with the entire crate. Think about it. Something is wrong with the entire crate of eggs. So it tells that we need to look at ourselves again. We need to take more responsibility as individuals. Because it means that something is wrong with us. So something is wrong with the entire bunch as a people, as a populace. Do you get? So people need to understand that leadership is not which brings me to, before you bring the next question, which brings me to the idea of the office of the citizen. The office of the citizen is the most powerful office there is in the land. Do you get? Citizens make things happen. It was Americans who built America. America did not build Americans. Do you get? You know, so take for example, if you move all Canadians to Nigeria and move all Nigerians to Canada, it doesn't mean that development will suddenly happen. You know, it's not the land that makes the people, it's the people that makes the land prosperous. Do you get? So as a people, we need to introspect, we need to ask questions as to how can I be doing better as a person, as a father, as a sibling, as a CEO, as an employee, as a neighbor in the same street with other people. How can I be doing better? How can I make my own contribution to make
and for me, I think a major part of what you just said is the fact that America did not build Americans, but the reverse. Americans built America.
Yes, there's even a movie.
Built America. So we could easily infer that Nigeria cannot build Nigerians. But Nigerians will build Nigeria. So, but again, which is the crux of our conversation, that Nigerians can't develop Nigeria if they are not developed. So meaning that me as a person cannot contribute my quota, or I can't contribute the rice quota to developing Nigeria if I'm not developed?
Correct.
Now, so if that's what we've established thus far, two questions in one. Does it mean that the reason we are not seeing development, or the reason our nation is not built the way it should be at this time, is the fact that those who are heading the positions are not personally developed? Or are we saying, or can we say that the reason we are not seeing development is because the person choosing are not developed? Or and then what do you even term personal development? Because we want to understand what person's feel personal development is when you go to the gym and you are developing, right?
Yeah, right.
So
Correct.
we want to be sure what we are even calling personal development. What kind of personal development transcends to nation building? And then do you think that our leaders that we have now are not even personally developed?
Okay, I mean, when we're having a chat prior to this show, we talked about the difference between human population and human capital.
Exactly, yeah.
You know, we have over 200 billion people, but I beg to differ that we do not have that much people in human capital. We don't have that much people as human assets. Singapore, for example, doesn't have any mineral resources today, but they're one of the most industrialized nations in the world. They have one of the highest GDP per capita.
Exactly.
Do you get?
Yeah.
It's because someone said the wealth of a nation is not what's under its feet, under the ground.
Yeah.
It's what's above its ears, the ears of
intellectual capacity.
Yeah, intellectual capital. You know, so the question is, how can we develop our people?
Yeah.
Leaders are made of two quotients.
Okay.
You know, character and competence.
Okay.
We have some people who are skilled, who know something, but we find that sometimes they are deficit in character. That's why a politician can go into office and steal everything dry, you know, without a second thought of contributing to the people.
Okay.
So we want people who have that 360-degree development, you know, mentally, solically. People who can empathize with the population of the people. People who know how to solve problems.
Okay.
You know, that's the cross of leadership. You must be able to solve problems. It was said that Margaret Thatcher did not usually sleep until 4 a.m. every day. So the president that came after her, or the prime minister rather, that came after Margaret Thatcher, had a big problem because all the staffing around were people who
and work with who doesn't sleep till 4.
So again, that's responsibility. That's you know, pushing yourself to contribute, not what you can take from the system, but what you can
give to the system. Wow.
Do you get?
Yeah.
And it's the person that is well that can donate blood. If you are sick, you can't go to the blood bank and say, I want to donate blood. They say, thank you, we're grateful for your kindness, but we can't take your blood because you are not well. We need to help you. Do you get? In the same vein, it is someone who has capacity that can give back. And how do you build yourself? You know, how did I connect with Mr. Abdul, who is the convener of this program? I met him in a bus traveling. I saw him reading a book, you know, talking about values now. Reading a book that sort of engaged me to him. We started talking and we've built a relationship over this time. So it's about what are our values as a people. Of all the people that have got, I don't know how many thousands of these books have got, how many people have read it? Do you get? The people value these things? What are our values as a people? Do we want to a value system? Are we willing to learn? Are we willing to read? Are we willing to be better today than we were yesterday? Are we willing to acquire the right skill set, you know, to solve problems? Do you get? Solving problems. Solving problems in your work, your cubicle, you're an employee. How willing are you to solve problems that come around you? Not just the problems that's on your JD, but the problems that is around the office. Do you get? You the go-to person. The people entrust you. They say the reward for work is more work. People consider that when they give you a task, it gets done. Do you get? So it starts from that little corner. You know, your ability to be responsible. Your ability to be a problem solver. Your ability to show up to the task that is assigned to you.
Even when you're tired.
Even when you are tired, you do what's assigned to you. And I think it's okay for me to quote the Bible. It says, if you are faithful in little, you get faithful in much.
Yeah.
Do you get? So you build that capacity in the corner that you've been given. Let's look at political strata, for example. Whether you're a councillor, a local government chairman, a minister, a governor, a president. Do you get? If you look at our environment today, there are many things that are bad, not because the president is not doing enough, but because even the local government chairman is not doing enough. The councillor is not doing enough. He's only pointing fingers. He's pointing fingers to the top, pointing fingers to the center of power. But there's a lot more that can be done at the little level. There are many roads that could have been graded, not even tarred. Let's not talk about that. You can grade a road as a local government or a councillor. You just get a tractor and grade it. And the road is at least motorable. But people don't do that because they're looking to Abuja. Abuja has to come clear your gutter. Abuja has to come grade your road. Think about all of those things. Abdication of responsibility. So again, they say when you point a finger, 3 points back at you. We need people who can be responsible to solve problems around them. That's what we need. And when you decide to build yourself, life has a way of bringing opportunities to you.
Exactly.
Opportunities to solve greater problems.
Do
you get from serving in a small capacity to serving in an international?
As the reward for good work.
Do you get? You serve a bit here, you serve there, and at some point you can even, maybe we'll come to that in the
course of conversation
of the podcast.
Yeah. So for me personally, the point you made in terms of personal development, what you term personal development is intellectual capacity, right? Your mindset, how you're able to take responsibility to solve problems.
Correct.
Now, because if you look at this personal development is more confusing if you want to look at leaders, right? Now you see persons who are even up to PhD, right? And they've been developed in terms of mental capacity because they've gone to school, they read all that needs to be read, right? And then they hold leadership positions. But you still don't see you don't see what they've learned. Or even though you've not learned anything, I think one of the easiest way we learn is by traveling. So I'm staying somewhere in Abuja, and then I'm privileged to travel to UK. And then I go to UK and I see the railway system. And I'm like, wow, we can have this thing in Nigeria. And then I come back to Nigeria and I'm like, okay, so what can we do to make sure that we have a better railway system that fits our own needs? But we have persons who travel out, come back to Nigeria, even do worst. So for persons that's where I'm not sure of this personal development. So what can we say about these scenarios of persons who are extremely vast with knowledge, exposed to persons with capacity and still underperform in leadership, right? So at what point does personal development not lead to national development?
I think that again it's there's a difference between knowledge and wisdom. You can know a lot and it still translates to nothing. There's a lot of wisdom lacking in leadership offices or political offices, and I know I heard somewhere when someone said that you shouldn't be granted access to political office, until you've shown success or a track record in your personal life. Do you get? So
must be able to build something that we can see and touch.
Management of personal or success in personal stewardship must precede, or success in public stewardship must be preceded by success in personal stewardship. So meaning that you must have succeeded in your own enterprise or organization before we can trust you with statecraft. Do you get? So there is usually that missing link. You find that someone hasn't done anything in his life has not built anything, not built any organization,
Hasn't
any
led.
platform,
Yeah.
doesn't led in any capacity. All of a sudden, by happenstance, some abracadabra, they come into political office. You cannot give what you don't have. You cannot give what you've not built. Do you get? So I think that on the place of competence, that's missing a lot. There is also the place of character, which you said. You know, someone can get educated so much and have all of its skill set and still be a nuisance to society.
True, very true. Yeah.
What's his name now? Bin Laden was trained in the US. He was trained. It takes a lot to carry out 9/11. It takes a lot of project management, a lot of
strategy,
organization and strategy to make that happen. But what's the value of that? It's nuisance. You know, so we are not looking for more people who can speak good English or can know. We're not looking. We're looking for people who are able to solve problems of society.
Exactly.
We're looking for people who are empathetic, who are kind. It matters because if you are empathetic, if you are kind, if you are concerned about the sufferings of the people,
compassion,
you are compassionate, you are moved to be able to contribute. I know sometimes that there might be overarching factors that sometimes it defeats the best of us. You know, you want to come, you want to change a society, and there are many factors pushing you back. That's where we need more people.
Exactly.
Do you get? If we're in the majority, we get a chance to change.
Exactly.
And being in the majority does not mean that the 108 senators or the 300 and something House of Reps member must be angels.
Exactly.
You don't need a bag of salt to make a pot of rice sweet. No, you just need a bit of a pinch. You get? We just need a few good rebels. You know, a few good a few of them, not one, not two, a couple. You know, that can sort of form a quorum, that can be change agents in these places. So the onus is on good people in quotes, people of character and competence to run for office.
Exactly.
You know, run for office. The elections are coming soon. Run for office. Let's support them. You know, let's nominate people. You know, get people into these places. And we get a chance to get a better society. It doesn't take forever. There are many countries, Singapore I mentioned just now, Malaysia, many countries that just a couple decades ago were not even Dubai, for UAE, for example. A couple decades ago it was just a business plan. But by the power of vision, see what
it's coming out from
has been able to do there. You know, so it doesn't need everyone to be angels first.
Exactly.
And again, let's not ask for what's not possible. I'm not saying, when I say character, I'm not saying people who are without
flaws.
No, that's what the realms of angels. Exactly. We're talking about people who at least are able to score a couple points.
Exactly.
You know, and you know, they are fit in the area of character, fit in the area of competence, doing their best, you know, showing up every day, and wanting to improve on themselves. Get these people there, and as we get them there, we continue to do our own best.
Exactly.
You know, there's a lot that can even happen outside political offices. You know, people are running NGOs today that are contributing a lot to society.
A lot.
You know, I saw some guy doing a security initiative against banditry and kidnapping. You know, he's contributing to society. What his intentions are, I don't know. I'm just saying
something he's doing.
What he's doing as a citizen. You know, there are people doing a lot as citizens. Do you get? I saw some guy. I think he's an activist, or I don't know what to call him. He mobilized people to clean some streets all the time. He's doing something. Do you get? So there is a lot that can be done outside political offices. Do you get? There is a lot. You can sponsor, as in Nigeria today. Once you are able to earn a living, you've lost the right to not contribute to society. Whether it's to support someone in school.
Exactly. In
the way that companies have corporate social responsibility. Individuals need to have personal social responsibility. You should be able to support someone in school. You should be able to support, with whatever way. Scholarship for someone, even if it's not private school, be able to give to that person, saying, I'm supporting this family. Even if it's whatever, 1,000 naira, 2,000, just like that. You know, it is stewardship at that level that qualifies you for
more
responsibility.
responsibility.
At that level,
Yeah.
that qualifies you
Yeah.
for more responsibility.
And in unveiling Nigeria, one of the things we are big on is mind shift. Mind shift. And mind shift because you can't really change persons if you are not changed.
Correct.
And over the years, we've been able to carry out initiatives that promotes mind shifts. In other words, your mind is changed, is renewed, not changed for a negative purpose, but you're able to see life in a better perspective.
Correct.
And this is like the end of the year, and most persons, this is the time where they go on retreats. They try to reminisce on 2025.
Correct.
They try to strategize. They try to plan. They try to see, New Year resolution, right? Exactly. And then, so for persons who are listening to us that really want to work on their self, while in school, some persons, better development is learning a skill, right? Which of course is still intellect. From learning how to do graphics, you have the opportunity to do designs, interface with clients, and then the better you become, the more you train people, and you keep on expanding. So for persons who even though we are not mentioning it, as long as you are retreating, reminiscing, what you are doing is pattern development.
Correct.
Checking your account for the years, track, that's pattern development.
Wanting to be better.
You are meticulous about your finance.
Correct.
When you decide to say, "Oh, I reacted to this situation like this, I should have done it this way," that's pattern development. So for persons who want to really expand or increase their capacity, as a build up to this podcast, you said something about the fact that leaders should be competent and leaders should have character.
Correct.
And in my school, the last one, funny enough, it just correlates. We call it 3 C's: capacity, competence, and character. So leaders should be competent.
Correct.
Leaders should have character. Leaders should have capacity. Correct. And this theory is also hinged on personal development. Correct. So, what would you advise persons who want to develop themselves better in 2026? What steps should they take? What should they be looking at with the advent of AI and a lot of things? What would you advise them to do?
Yeah, success starts within before without.
Okay.
Do you get success starts from the inside before you see it outside. If you start outside, it won't last. If you start outside first, that's why you find there's someone who said that some people are so poor, all they have is money. It shouldn't be so. You should be rich in values, rich in ethics, rich in competence, in capacity. All of that will now cause all of those external paraphernalia of wealth, markers of wealth to come to you. You get that's what lasts. So as the year wraps up, you want to sit down, you want to look back. You want to look at what you've achieved, what you were not able to achieve. What are the things you could have done better, like you said? What's in 2026? You have to sit down. You have to find some time. I was telling someone about the beauty of boredom. You get people are too distracted today. There's a lot calling our attention. TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, a lot. There's a lot calling our attention. And the problem is that at some point, you cannot find time to be with yourself.
Exactly.
Because you are with everybody. You are with everybody online, screaming at you. And if you cannot find time to be with yourself, you cannot connect with your purpose. You cannot connect with your calling. You cannot connect with what God has designed you to be. And you cannot be a good leader. A leader must be able to sit down. A leader must be able to paint a vision of where he wants to be and where he wants to take others to as well. Do you get? Because leaders are dealers in hope. Leaders are people who are able to paint the future. They are able to, chart a way to get from here to there. That's leadership. So I think it's even for us in the diaspora. To speak to that. Sometimes people say, okay, they're out there. I was here. It just happened to be that, okay, for the time being, I'm there, you know, and as I'm there, I'm seeing things, I'm learning, you know, every country you see today had a period of time where people emigrated, like whether it's China, whether it's if you think that China was or used to be a developing country, if you think so. China, Malaysia, all of those people, you have them studying in the UK at some point, in the US.
Exactly, yeah.
But they go there, they don't stay. They study, they learn it, but they go home. You know, they go back home to contribute. You know, as someone described as brain drain and brain circulation. Brain drain, brain gain, brain circulation. Now it seems to be that people are leaving. But people are also gaining new knowledge and coming back in the cycle. Do you get? Otherwise, it's just, you know, you go there, you learn. You build capacity, whether it's financial capacity, mental capacity, awareness, and you know, you observe the environment. You use all of that to contribute back to society. You get, and all of that also, it's personal development. You know, someone said traveling is the best form of education. You go, you observe, you see what's happening there. And at some point, whatever that is for you, whether it's 2 years, whether it's 5 years, whether it's 10 years, you come back, you know, whether you're physically on ground, you come back and you contribute.
Exactly. So I think this, I mean, while we're speaking, I began to see picture of some major examples, because I saw a video recently of Mr. Stanley. I don't know if it's Ugochukwu or Uzochukwu, but it's Stanley. He wears white. I saw him a video of him welcoming the president of Ghana.
Is it Stanley?
Stanley. Yeah, I saw him welcoming the president of Ghana. He was actually coming to receive a chief executive title in Osun State. And then I remember his beginning of how he got to a point where Cosmos Maduka had to give him some of 150 million naira to start. Stanley. So that's process. Imagine that humble beginning, personal development, now welcoming president of Ghana, and then Dr. Stephen Akintayo, from selling popcorn in the Experience concert to building estates in US. So it means that personal development comes with sacrifice, like you said, and it pays in the long run. Now, from, you know, in quote now, one of the reasons many Nigerians travel is personal development. And whether you like it or not, even if you go with the mindset of where I just need to go and make money, if they don't see value in you, you cannot offer a service, because as little as washing the toilets outside the country, you are offering a service, right? And the more skillful you do it, the more opportunities comes. And you said something about the Asian persons from the Asian part of the world traveling to Europe or even America to learn, and then they come back to their country to contribute. Now, I've been struggling to define Japa and traveling, right? Because, you know, the literal definition of Japa means to travel without the intention of coming back. So when someone is, what we say Japa, it means the person is running away from Nigeria and doesn't want to come back. But somebody traveling, you can go for education or like you did. Now, why do you think most Nigerians travel with? I don't really know how diaspora community is, but from the picture we get over here is the fact that when they say, oh, bye-bye from the airport, oh, bye-bye. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Right? So, do you think the diaspora community are practicing the thought of, I've learned, I want to come back and teach or empower, right? And how do you think they can do it more? Or I also want you to encourage persons who have this mindset of running away from Nigeria. So how can we have because if we have what's it called, brain drain here, for example, we have persons who have gone there and they've gotten the right knowledge, exposed to the right, if they are medical doctors, they are exposed to the right medical equipments, to the highest of all technology, right? And we have Nigerians who are doing extremely well, occupying top positions in the diaspora community in terms of the medical field, engineering, robotics, AI, even in banking. Look at Tolo Gulesi. They are doing extremely well. Yes, most of them are contributing to, development in Nigeria. But in general, how can we downplay this idea of traveling without return?
It's about vision. It's about vision. The question is, what do you want to achieve with your life? Do you get? It's about vision. Someone said the difference between success and greatness is that success is I have enough for myself, for my work, for my family, my children, and my spouse, and I'm fine. Greatness is becoming the best you can possibly be, not just for yourself alone, but for the society around you, for the world outside the one you know and the one you own. Do you get? So it's really about how far you want to fly. That's the thing. So if your vision is small, your mind is small, you are thinking that I've escaped and I have food to eat, I have a roof over my head, and that's all. That's why people japa. But when you see, for example, I went out to do my master's degree, abroad. That's what took me out, So I'm not saying that I didn't tear my passport. It's intact. That's how I came. Do you get it? So the question is, how can I develop myself up to a point, build all the resources I can build, and come back to country. And I'm still contributing even when I'm away.
Yeah.
Some diasporans diasporans sometimes can be one of the most patriotic people ever, because even more patriotic than people here, because the thing is that they have value and they add value.
Yeah.
Some years ago, it was said that statistically, the diaspora remittances was even more than the revenue Nigeria was getting from oil and gas.
True.
So who is patriotic?
Yeah.
Who is helping out? It's the diaspora people, So I think that the way that you have Japa, some people are also talking about Japada. You go and you come back.
Yeah.
You come back because you want to contribute. You come back because there are lots of opportunities. You come back because you see opportunities embedded in problems. That's the thing. All of the problems you see today there are opportunities in disguise. Get? And it takes people who are empowered, who've got the right skill set to be able to see this and to be able to contribute. Which is why I said the way that you have brain drain, people leaving, brain gain, people coming into this developed country, and brain circulation, people coming back. That's what we're beginning to see. Many startups today that you see around Lagos are people who are diasporans who returned home to run these things. So it's already happening. It's just a case of how can we get more people to be conscientious about society, more people wanting to give back. Once we can have a critical mass of people who are in that
space,
we can have a chance at a better future.
But Sir Unity, one of the reasons persons travel out is for them the hardship in Nigeria and everything. And I was listening to, I think one of the things you've put in that from this conversation is vision. Right, I was listening to Kosos Maduka on a podcast, the Billionaire Habit podcast with Dr. Akintayo, and he was talking about his vision, what he wanted to do at 20, at 23, at 25, and how he achieved it, even while in Nigeria, right? So, and it is not about that time. There are still persons who have those timelines, who are achieving it, or who are even inspired by what he has said. Right. So, but there are persons who they feel, Nigeria is not, I've seen it, Nigeria is not the place, right? And then they travel out, right? Which is not even wrong in this place. But the reason they don't have that much compassion for their country is because, in quote now, like the popular slang, Nigeria has happened to them. And they don't develop a sense of love for their country. And that's why, the book we worked on, Villain about Nigeria, Faces of Patriotism, talks about how do you love your nation even when it's hard. And that's one of a big question. So, your love for your nation determines if you are going to do brain circulation, or if you are going to jackpot, or if you are going to contribute to. So, while we are talking about personal development in one perspective, we also want to bring in how can you genuinely love your nation? Because if I see deficiency in leadership, for example, and I'm madly in love with Nigeria, and I see what she can become, if I'm privileged to hold a position, And I know that for me to hold this position, I need to develop myself in this particular light.
Yeah.
I go all out. So love can even make me develop myself because I want to build my nation.
Absolutely.
So how can I love my nation even when it's hard? Because that's where everything revolves around.
Yeah, I get you. I mean, it's no offense to people who don't like the country, or people who Nigeria might have happened to. But I think that America happens to people. Canada happens to people. You know, think about people who took their children to school and gun violence, you know, they were victims of gun violence in the US. America happened to them.
Yeah.
You know, think about people who...
Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, exactly. America happened to him. You know, so the thing is that evil is not a Nigerian thing. Evil is not a Nigerian reality. You know, of course, we can do better in the way of security.
Yeah.
We can do better in the way of having infrastructural, infrastructural development, ambulances when it's needed, and fire service when it's there, all of that.
Yeah.
No doubt about that. But I think that at the end of the day, you want to know that, I don't know, Unity is always like a Canadian name. If somebody tells you that it's Canadian, I'm sorry, you know, Joshua, I don't know what you're saying.
Mega.
That's not a American name,
you know.
Even if I have the passport, I'm not Canadian originally.
Yeah.
You know, so you need to know that there's a reason, purpose. There's a reason why you're black skinned. There's a reason why God created you. There's a reason why God perfected you in Nigeria.
Yeah.
You know, you need to think deeply and see that despite all that is happening, I'm Nigerian. You know, I have a responsibility to my nation. It's hard sometimes because bad things happen. It's hard sometimes because bad people. Think about the last election when people were really out to put in the candidate of their choice. You know, they were discouraged by the inefficiency of the system and all of that. But think about how much diasporans were interested in
the process. Yeah.
That tells you that they love the country.
They want
to come back.
They want to work.
Yeah, they wanted to work.
They're coming for 30 December.
Yeah, exactly. They contribute money. They contribute, you know, there's lots of fun happening here. Most times when we're there, you're in the house. But yeah, since I've been around, you know, people have been talking security. I can't see any insecurity. I know it happens, you know, but I've been out at night. I've been chilling with friends, talking to people, you know, all of that. So Nigeria is beautiful. Nigeria is a good place. You know, there is a place to go, learn and equip yourself, resources. But you must keep an eye on what's going on here. You must strive to contribute. You must strive to all of what you see today. If they cast you back, if you did a time travel to maybe 1920 and 1910, there are places in the US that's worse than where we are today. But by the actions of people, they're able to develop themselves to where they are today. So the country can work. You know, we just need to have, like I said, a few good rebels. We need to empower people of conscience. We need to contribute where possible, whether to political office or NGOs or whatever it is, platforms, contribute. Even entrepreneurship is contribution. They are getting people. Government's job is not to employ people. Government's job is to create the right environment where businesses rise that employs the masses. Do you get? So as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, you are solving problems in the country. Do you get? Because you're employing people. So that's what I think. I think that people downplay all of these avenues for national development. Entrepreneurship is a critical tool for national development.
Critical tool.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it has been amazing. Right. Personally, I've learned a lot conversing with Mr. Urni, and again, it's a privilege meeting you.
My pleasure.
I mean, one of the things he mentioned today is the fact that if you let excellence, no one can take it away from you.
Absolutely.
And he spoke about value, he spoke about vision, not the vision of Nigeria, my vision as a person. That would transcend to the personal development I want to take.
Absolutely. So
what we are saying is, if your vision is to be the CBN governor, you have no business in a tailor shop. You should know the courses in finance to take.
Absolutely.
And of course, you will fail at some point, but it's not actually failure. It's you trying to crack the nuts, going harder. right? And that's one of the things we're talking about today, because our core is to see Nigeria becoming a better nation. And we can't become a better nation if we don't have citizens who are developed.
Absolutely.
So one of the things we are championing is be developed. Take courses, improve your mind. Again, development is not physical attributes, it's mental, intellect, things that are intangible, right? So, lastly, sir, for you as a person, because we want to know, for 12 years, and even from your line of thoughts shows how vast you are knowledge-wise, right? And then wisdom, again, the way you answer, talking about Tasha and the quotes. So where will you see the quotes if you don't read, right? So he's an epitome of someone who is voracious about personal development. So, well, in terms of your own capacity in developing yourself and impacting, what are we looking like? What are we looking at in the next, let's say, 5 years for you?
Yeah, 5 years. I clocked 35 a couple months.
Oh, wow.
Last month. You know, I'm the next.
Oh, 5 years, 40.
Yes,
Yeah.
Next 5 years critical for me.
Okay.
I see the next 5 years as a period to lead. To lead initiatives, contribute in different ways. I'll be speaking on platforms more because that's part of my gifting. You know, I'll be speaking on platforms more. I'll be part of several of Building Nigeria. I'll do more even in terms of contribution. You know, even setting up businesses or running businesses locally. So there's a lot I'm wanting to do right now. So I've been away for the last 5 years. So the next 5 years, I know that I have a lot of work to do in Nigeria.
Thank you so much. So, sir, in closing, what would be your final thoughts to Nigerians on developing themselves, which transcends to the nation being developed? And again, sir, when we say nation being developed, I'm not talking about cracking a nut from Abuja. Right? So, you know, when we say nation being developed, it means that that's your street in Uselu market. Right? So, you know that I think there was a story of a core member who contributed his own quota, teaching like homeless for free in his rural. That's nation building, because that knowledge is given to those children will stay with them forever, for life. So nation development means you cracking the nut in your field, in your office, in your streets, your peers. So what will be your final charge, sir?
Final charge is it's a person that is well that can donate. You need to be well. You need to go to school. School is not a scam. You know, school is not a scam. Go to school. Learn all you can learn. Learn all the skills that is possible. Education is what you teach yourself. Academics is what they teach you. You can teach yourself to code. You can teach yourself to, like the beautiful people behind the cameras. You can teach yourself to use the camera. That's a skill. You know, you can teach yourself diverse skills. You know, so do all that you can to be a better person. Do all that you can to contribute to your own personal development. You cannot unlearn excellence. You cannot unlearn emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
You can't unlearn these things. So everything that you need to do to develop yourself is first for you. You know, if a pipe conducts water from here to here, the pipe will be wet. There's no how you carry value from here to here that you don't enjoy the value. So seek to add value to yourself every day. Whether it's through reading, whether it's through watching documentaries or watching stuff that adds value to you, not the ones that destroy your brain cells. You know, there's a lot happening on the internet, nuisance, crap. You know, you need to be selective. You need to look for things that adds value to your mind, that makes you a better person to be able to add value to people.
Thank you so much.
Again, this remains a privilege. Thank you all for listening. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you.
And we look forward to doing amazing things in the year 2026. Thank you all so much.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
So, like you said, develop yourself, go for value, go for knowledge, and in turn, when you start seeing the results, pour it into nation building.
Absolutely.
We love you.
Thank you.